So today, we're going to dive into something pretty amazing. We're going to look at how you can build and use these super powerful AI agents to automate some really complex work. And we're talking about doing it in minutes, not months. Seriously. Let's get into it.
First up, let's talk about a problem that I know drives me crazy, and I'm betting it drives you crazy too. How much of your day, really, is just spent digging for information? It's scattered everywhere. A dozen different apps, a few databases, maybe some old shared drives. It's this constant, frustrating hunt that just grinds everything to a halt.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We become digital archaeologists, digging through all these layers of old digital junk just to find that one tiny piece of data we need. It's so inefficient, and it really keeps us from doing the work that actually, matters.
But what if there was a better way? What if you had a completely new kind of AI teammate, one that could handle entire workflows from the very beginning to the very end? This is where we go way beyond those simple assistants and start talking about real end-to-end automation.
Look, that first wave of AI was great, right? It could draft an email for you, summarize a long document, huge time savers, for sure. But they were kind of stuck, usually inside just one app. The new way, well, it's all about connecting everything. We're not talking about saving 5 minutes on an email anymore. We're talking about automating a project that would normally take 5 weeks to launch. It's a whole different ballgame.
Now, what's really cool is this idea of an agentic platform. Think of it like the conductor of an orchestra. Instead of every musician just playing their own tune, the conductor brings them all together to make something amazing. That's what this platform does for all your different business systems. It's the central hub that connects, organizes, and orchestrates work across all those scattered systems we were just talking about.
Okay, this all sounds incredible, but you're probably thinking, how in the world do you actually build one of these things? You'd assume you need a whole team of PhDs and developers, right? Well, the whole point here is to make building these agents accessible to, everyone. And that's the big shift, giving the power to the people who actually know the business to build the tools they need. And as you can see, there are basically two ways to do it. For the business experts, the people who live and breathe these processes but, don't write code, there's something called the Agent Designer. It's this super intuitive, no-code tool that lets you turn your expertise into a custom AI helper. Then for the pro developers who need to get under the hood and build more custom stuff, there's the Open Source Agent Development Kit, or ADK, so a path for everybody.
And this slide just brilliantly shows how simple the core idea is. You literally just start by explaining what you want in plain English. That's it. The AI takes that, analyzes it, and then spits out a full step-by-step plan. And you, the human, are always in the loop. You review the plan, you approve it, and then you deploy it. It can happen that fast. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's see how this actually works in the real world. To really get a feel for the power here, we're going to walk through a pretty complex process. So, imagine you're in charge of a huge Halloween campaign for a party supply company. Instead of trying to wrangle a dozen different people, you're just going to use a custom-built campaigns agent to run the whole show.
So you kick things off by just asking the agent to plan the Halloween campaign. And the first thing it does, bam, deep market research, a task that would normally take a team days. In just minutes, it chews through all your internal data, looks at public trends, and comes back with this key insight. Space and sci-fi themes are going to be absolutely massive this year.
Now, here's where it gets really, really smart. Based on that research, the agent doesn't just hand you a report and say, good luck. No, it cross-references your current inventory and immediately flags a critical problem. Your Galactic Ranger product line? Yeah, you're going to be short on stock by about 25%. It just saw a problem coming weeks before it would have happened.
So the agent asks you, hey, should I fix this? And with the simple yes, it automatically creates all the necessary purchase orders right inside your business system, something like ServiceNow, to cover that inventory gap. No manual data entry, no logging into another system, it's just done.
Okay, inventory is handled. The agent's comms module knows the very next logical step is to tell the team, so it drafts up a perfect, clear email for all the store managers, letting them know about the new campaign focus and the stock that's on the way. You just have to glance at it and click send.
And finally, to get the marketing team rolling, the agent's media module actually generates on-brand social media images and even a short video, all perfectly aligned with that new space and sci-fi theme. The whole starter pack is just ready to go.
So let's just pause on that for a second. Market research, inventory analysis, procurement, internal comms, and creative asset generation. That is a workflow that would normally take multiple teams, weeks of meetings and back-and-forth emails, and it was just completed in a single conversation. Weeks of work done in minutes.
Of course, for any of this to actually work inside a real company, trust is everything. It's non-negotiable. All that power and all that speed has to be built on a rock-solid foundation of security and control. So let's talk about the final, and honestly, the most critical piece of this whole puzzle. So the crucial point here is that you stay in control. Everything is built on top-notch, enterprise-grade security. There's a central dashboard where IT can set all the rules, monitor usage, and control access. And most importantly, there's this hard guarantee, and I'm going to quote it directly because it's that important. Your data is never used to train our models. Your data is your data, period.
I mean, this really is a fundamental shift in how we think about getting work done. It's about taking all that knowledge stuck in one person's head and turning it into a real asset for everyone. Automating all that tedious stuff so your teams can actually focus on what they're best at. Which leaves us with one final, really interesting question to think about. What's the first workflow you would automate?